Hey guys, what's up? This is White Boy for the win, and welcome back to Why Mega Evolve. Now, earlier last week we talked about Mega Behem, and today we're going to be talking about Mega Stunfisk. But before we get started, let me just give you guys a brief explanation what this series is about. Now, every week I will be picking two Pokemon that either need a Mega Evolution, deserve a Mega Evolution, or I want a Mega Evolution for. Now, this is based off my opinion alone, and no one else's. Now, if you guys do not like my opinion, then please post your opinions in the comment section down below. But what would you keep? What would you change? And etc. And at the end of every video, we'll be telling you guys which Pokemon we're going to be talking about the following day. So with that said, here is Mega Stunfisk. Now, at the end of the Mega Behem video that I did, I think, earlier this week, last week, I told you guys that Stunfisk was like a weird Pokemon to me, or something along the lines of that. But let me elaborate of what I mean. Now, for each person, it has to be one Pokemon that is like the weirdest Pokemon from each generation, and for me, that is Stunfisk. Now, why is that? Well, let me elaborate. Stunfisk is a flatfish-like Pokemon, and you can find fish in the water. I don't know if it's a mudfish, but we're just gonna call it a flounder. I don't know if you can find flounder in the mud, but let's just say for right now, you can find it in the water. You can find Stunfisk in the water, and its typing is ground electric, but it's weak to water. That's what makes Stunfisk, for me at least, like the weirdest Pokemon. I swear, it's like Game Freak had the design for like Stunfisk, but they decided for just Stunfisk alone to close their eyes, collect a random number generator, and whatever came up for the first two things was going to be Stunfisk's typing. But to be honest, like I love Stunfisk's typing, just because if I'm not mistaken, it's very unique because we don't have another ground and electric type Pokemon. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember every single Pokemon off the top of my head, so I'm probably forgetting a Pokemon that may be a ground and electric type, so I do apologize on that end. But anyways, I feel like Stunfisk, I would say, deserves a Mega Evolution, but at the same time, like, I don't even think it really needs it, just because its stats are not even all half bad. I mean, its speed, it does suck. Its physical attack, kind of booty, but its other stats that actually matter, like its defensive stat and its special defensive stat and special attack stat, are actually not even half bad. And if I'm not mistaken, its HP isn't half bad either. It's not even half bad. It's at base 109, which maxes out at 422. So this thing is very, very bulky for its corrective tier. I actually seen a couple of people use Stunfisk, and like I said, it is kind of bulky for what it is, but like I said, I think it is a Pokemon from 5th gen that wouldn't hurt to receive a Mega Evolution. So as you can tell from what I've done to its stats, I did increase everything but left its speed alone. I decided to leave its speed alone just because, like I said, it's a very bulky Pokemon as it is without the Mega Evolution, so it's not made to be like a very fast Pokemon. So like I said, I decided to leave it alone, nor decrease it, because its other stats are kind of well balanced to the point where I don't really need to decrease its stat as well. But before we actually we move on to the video, obviously I couldn't find a Mega Stunfisk photo, so I had to use a regular Stunfisk photo, so you're just gonna have to deal with it, so I do apologize about that. But anyways, back to the stats. So anyways, for its physical attack, I increased it from base 66 to base 87. Now, Stunfisk does get access to some good physical type attacks that can actually benefit from it. Like, it gets access to Aqua Tail, Bounce, Spark. It doesn't get access to Waterfall, sadly enough, but it gets access to Stone Edge, Rock Slide, Bulldoze. Does this get access to Earthquake? Yes, it gets access to Earthquake. Wow, it doesn't get access to Wild Charge, which kinda sucks. But other than that, like, those are really like the only moves that you'll probably run on Stunfisk, physically wise. So like, if you want to run like a mixed Stunfisk, there is potential there, but I'm not saying it's going to be the best. So I did want to increase its physical attack nonetheless, and I feel like base 87 is a balanced like attack stat for Stunfisk. So like I said, I increased it just a little bit for what it's worth. Now for its special attack, I increased it from base 81 to base 121. Now I wanted to actually increase its special attack significantly because I felt like even though Stunfisk does get access to some good physical type moves, most of the time, like, it is, I would say, like a bulky Pokemon at the same time, but also it is kind of offensive, and most of its moves that it gets access to are like special, like, base moves that can actually make this thing a very good viable, like, offensive attacking Pokemon in general. Like, this thing gets access to like Thunderbolt, Sludge Bomb, Sludge Wave. What else does this thing get? Surf. It gets access to Surf. It gets access to Earth Power, Shockwave, Electro Web, Shockwave, Water Pulse. Moral of the point, like, it does get better, like, special attack moves than physical moves, and it also does get access to Stealth Rock, so that's why I'm saying, like, it also is a bulky monster and also a very offensive Pokemon as well. So I feel like base 121 for a special attack stat for a Stunfisk can actually do pretty decent when it comes to competitive play. And to be honest, with the stats that I've given it, I can probably see Stunfisk probably jumping up to UU just because of how bulky it is in its corrective tier. I think the only thing, in my opinion, kind of holding it back is its typing, because it is weak to very common, like, moves or common typings like water, grass, ice. Wow, it's weak to ice. Shit. Looking at that, that's pretty much it. But like I said, those are very common typing moves or common typing Pokemon that carry those typing moves. Nonetheless, like I said, I can see this thing probably being in UU at the very least. Now, for its physical defense, I increased it from base 84 to base 110. Now, like I said, it's a very bulky monster in its corrective tier, and it does get access to Stealth Rocks. So most of the time, I can probably see people run like max attack or max HP, max physical defense with like a bold nature, and running like Stealth Rocks, Thunderbolts, Sludge Bomb, and like Earth Power or something like that. And you're pretty much set to go, because it's kind of like Heat Ran in a sense, because the set I run, or well, I've seen it on Smogon as well, because that's the set I'm using. It's like I said, they use like max speed, max special attack, timid nature, Stealth Rocks, Fire Blast, Earth Power, and if I'm not mistaken, either Ancient Power or Flash Cannon. So it's going to be kind of like a very bulky offensive Pokemon, and with base 110 for its physical defense, this thing is just going to be an unstoppable, like, wall. Now for its special defense, same kind of ordeal. I increased it from base 99 to base 112. Like I said, Stunfisk as itself is already a bulky Pokemon as it is, so I wanted to increase its special defense as well. Now base 112, same thing like I said for its physical defense. It's just going to be a very bulky monster. I know I keep pretty much repeating myself, but it actually is true. And with the typings that it is weak to, which are water, grass, and ice, those are very common typings, either whether it's moves or Pokemon that are those typings, whether the case may be, like, it is, those three typings are very common in competitive play, and it is weak to those typings. So I can see this thing being able to take a lot of those, like, weak hit, a lot of those hits that it are weak to. So 112, I feel like I said, is a very balanced special defense stat for a Stunfisk. Now, as a regular Stunfisk without the Mega Evolution, its base stats at 471, and with the Mega Evolution, is going to be at 571. Now, for its ability, like I was saying at the beginning, it's based off of a fish, or excuse me, a flat fish. You can find them in the water, and its typing is ground electric, and it's weak to water. Very sensible, right? And the funny thing is, it gets access to Limber, so I don't understand why it gets access to Limber. I mean, the only way Stunfisk can get paralyzed is, if I'm not mistaken, is by Effect Spore and also by Stun Spore as well. Other than that, I think that's the only way Stunfisk can actually get paralyzed. Oh, I mean, also Body Slam as well. So pretty much three ways to actually get paralyzed. And also, one of its other abilities is Static. I'm not saying it's a bad ability, but I feel like for a Mega Stunfisk, it should be different, and for its hidden ability, it is Sandville, so it does have two abilities, one pretty much for each of its typings, but for its Mega ability, I actually decided to go with a more logical ability for this Pokemon, which is Water Absorb. I mean, if you could find this Pokemon like with either surfing or fishing, I can't remember, but I know you could probably do that. in the games. I mean, I know you can find this thing in like the Friend Safari in the grass, but more of the point, I mean, if you're gonna make a Pokemon, make a fish-based Pokemon that you can find in the water that's weak to like water, then you should totally give this thing Water Absorb. I feel like Water Absorb would be the better ability for it, because in that way your opponent can't like go for Scald and hopefully get the burn. And with it actually being weak to water and also being a fish, I feel like Water Absorb is the better ability for Stunfisk. And last but not least, for its typing, I left it alone as Ground Electric. Like I said, I feel like it's a unique typing, so I decided not to change it. But it does get access to very good moves that can benefit from those typings as well to actually get stabbed. So like I said, I decided to leave it alone. But with all that, there is Mega Stunfisk. So anyways guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, and also don't forget to comment and subscribe. Now the next Pokemon we are going to be doing is that we're going to be jumping to 6th gen, because I've been wanting to talk about this Pokemon for a while, but I kept holding it off just because I was waiting for like a fan art for a Mega design for this Pokemon. But it's already been what, about 3 to 4 years already, and nothing has happened for a design for this Pokemon. And that Pokemon is the Pikachu line for this generation, Dedenne. So on, if I'm not mistaken, Friday, we are going to be talking about Mega Dedenne. So with all that said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, and also don't forget to comment and subscribe. Once again, my anime channel that I am doing with my best friend, or one of my best friends, is also going to be in the description box down below. So if you guys are a fan of anime, go and check it out, and I highly encourage you guys to go subscribe, because I don't want to toot my own horn, but I feel like we, or I don't want to say I feel like, I know we are, like, a very hilarious duo when it comes to videos in general. So if you guys like are a fan of anime, go and check it out, and I highly encourage you guys to go subscribe. But nonetheless, this is White Boy for the win. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later.